If there's one weapon to develop that will give you all of the charisma and irresistible charm that men and women find completely unforgettable and irresistible, that's being unreactive. Listen, the difference between a woman who's always being chased and always being undervalued versus a woman who's always being worshipped and dying over is that one woman is reactive and the other one is not. That's the only difference. And the beauty about it, you can learn it. First of all, why it looks like I have a KKK thing on top of my head anyways. It's not about being a narcissist. It's not about being emotionless. It's about keeping your presence of mind under pressure, not reacting instantly. When women possess this trait, we interpret it as an air of authority and femininity. They give you a sense that you can rely on them. And if they are of the opposite sex, you will find them irresistibly attractive, possessing a silent charisma that men will fawn over. So today we're gonna tell you some strategies to develop this non-reactivity and take back your power no matter the situation. And if you guys wanna work with Father Alex one-on-one and wanna apply these strategies into your life, you guys can book a one-on-one phone call with me today, and then you'll be able to learn how to apply these strategies today. Maybe you need help in your career. Maybe you need help in your personal life. Maybe you need help with your dating advice. Father Alex is here to help. Now, it is not a therapy session, people. You're just asking Father Alex questions, and I'm here to answers. You guys can book a call with me today by clicking on the description down below. Let's continue with the video. Everyone around you is trying to get you to do one thing, and that's react. Once they get you to react, then you start to make mistakes. Once they get you to react, then you stop doing the things that you know you're supposed to do. It's a way to discombobulate you, to split you from within, so that you could become confused, become scared, and feel like you have no power. They're trying to get you to forget the purpose of your actions, to get you off your long-term goal and switch up to your short-term goal, to get you to break your own rules for them. Now, what is non-reactivity in this case? Non-reactivity is not about being a bunch of Terminators, it's not about being cold, but about the momentary space between yourself and your reaction. That is the non-reactivity that we're talking about. We're not talking about completely permanent non-emotion. We're just talking about a moment of space between when you feel the emotion and when you start to react. In that moment is your true power. In that moment of silence is where our true powers lie. Because that silence, that space gives you the capacity to think straight. That space gives you the capacity to think with more strategy. What men and women are trying to get you to do when they try to get you to react is to forget about strategy. Like a boxer who got hit once and all of a sudden forgets about the purpose and the strategies they're using in a boxing match, right? Non-reactivity is not taking action when you don't know what to do. When there's a situation and you don't know what to do and you're being pressured to do something, non-reactivity is saying, I'd rather do nothing and let things pass than to make a mistake. Non-reactivity is about losing the battle to win the war. Non-reactivity is learning to calm yourself down so that you can think and act more clearly. Because I'll be honest with you, people with low self-esteem only can feel good by getting you to react. It's like, for example, when I used to be on Tinder, there were girls on Tinder that legit, like, and I knew this, they just would make plans with guys just to cancel them. Like, that was literally their plan. And the reason why is because they liked getting men angry. Most likely in their life, at one point, they felt like they had no control. So this is their way to feel better about themselves. Pissing people off, getting them to accept the date, and then backing off in the first minute. At the last second. And as a guy, what happens is that you have two options when this happens. You can either get really bitter and pissed off, right? Or you can learn not to react to it. And the problem is that a lot of guys just react to it. They get angry. They develop negative belief systems about women that causes them to actually push good women away. And it attracts bad women who are actually there just to manipulate you. The reactive part is when they win. You getting angry at their inconsistency is when they win. You getting angry at them pulling away is when they win. When somebody notices that their games and strategies doesn't get a reaction out of you, that's when they start to lose. That's when you start to see their true face. And that's why it's so powerful to not react, because it's almost like you created an oasis around you where everything reveals itself. Every manipulator becomes exposed. Everyone who truly likes you becomes obvious. People who are only there just temporarily become more obvious to you. And this non-reaction over time creates an ominous presence about you, a silent and powerful charisma that emanates from you. Non-reacting is the ominous silence that arises that makes the opponent tremble on their feet. It's the quiet power that comes from you when you're sick and tired of someone and you're ready to leave them. It's the ominous silence that your boss tends to give you right before he fires you. But this time, it's not about firing people. This silence, this non-reactivity, it's an act of strength, a show of strength, showing people that if you mess up a bit long enough, if you mess up with me, I will walk away. Your games don't work with me. I still like you, and if I leave you, it's gonna hurt me, but I am not gonna react to the pain. I am not gonna go back. I'm gonna allow myself to feel the sadness, the depression, the desperation, the neediness, and I'm gonna allow that feeling to go through. You're gonna feel your way out of that, but you're not gonna react to them. You're not going to react out of impatience. You're not going to win the battle to lose the war. None of that's going to happen because that's what they're trying to get you to do. Another thing is that non-reaction is the capacity to find happiness from other sources other than the opposite sex. It's finding other sources of positive emotions. They are not your center. You react, but you're not overreacting. So your non-reaction is what gets them to react. And how do you create that? Well, we're going to talk about that, right? But it's the point that you being immovable makes them movable. It flusters them, and above all, it offends them. Yeah, that's right, people. It genuinely offends people when you are non-reactive to them. Because it says to them, I thought I was cool. I thought they wanted me. I thought they liked me. And it's not about you don't feel emotions, people. You just know how to feel and get out of that feeling. You understand the concept of object permanence. And consistently, I'll be honest with you, every woman who has had this trait, they've genuinely either been confident or they were narcissistic. It's either or. But either way, men still react to both of them the same way. The difference is that the confident woman genuinely knows how to make connections. The narcissistic woman only knows how to keep men at bay. And the sad part is that when the narcissistic woman finds a man she loves, what happens is that the man doesn't love her back. Right? It becomes a very dark cycle. So how do you do this? Well, first of all, you first have to develop the willingness to walk away. First thing first, the willingness to walk away. If you are not willing to walk away, this strategy is just not going to work. If you're not willing to walk away, this strategy, you're still going to be reactive because the unwillingness to walk away is your reactivity. The mental capacity to keep your hand on the trigger, to keep your hand on your shoulder and seal consistently and be willing to walk away is what gives you the aura of non-reactivity. It's what allows you to look at someone BSing you, and in your mind you're like, yo, keep up that shit, I'm walking away. And you don't have to say anything. You just have to keep it to yourself. Keep that thought to yourself, and all of a sudden it'll radiate from within, like a condensation. It'll just radiate from within, right? It's just a willingness to walk away. And the way to do that is to, when you meet people, mentally imagine yourself walking away from them. Even on the first date, mentally allow yourself to imagine walking away. Sometimes you just have to allow yourself to imagine yourself walking away before genuinely walking away. The next thing is mirror their behavior. If there's anything that you could do that will fix most of your mistakes because you overreact, is to mirror them. Usually you overreact to little things. To small behaviors, meaning maybe they took too long to respond. Maybe they pulled away. Maybe they're busy, right? Unfortunately, when we get minimal behavior from them, our reaction to them is an exaggeration of behavior, more calling, more texting. Mirroring them protects you from that natural tendency. Mirroring them protects you from your tendency to overtext, to overreact, to over pull away. You literally mirror them. If they're pulled away out of 5, you pull away out of 6. If they're showing interest at a 10, at an 8, you show interest at a 7. If they took 5 hours to respond, you take 5 hours to respond. This requires control over your emotions. This requires you not to let your fantasies and emotions and insecurities to take over. And unfortunately, too many of us have too many insecurities. And when you try to apply this strategy, it doesn't work because you don't have the emotional circuitry, the emotional strength to be able to do this. But mirroring is the easiest thing to do because it tells you what to do. If they cancel on you, you cancel on them. Now, look, at this point, we're getting petty. Right? At this point, we're getting petty. If you gotta use the marriage tactic to gain power over someone, at that point you gotta walk away. But I know a lot of you guys are hard-headed and you guys don't want to do that. But I'm just saying that for the people who comment on the videos who say, oh, this only works on low self-esteem people. Hey, I'm telling you why, okay? So don't stop commenting that. We all get it. You know more. Jesus Christ, right? So yeah, the mirroring part. Now, what happens if you try to mirror but your emotions are too intense? What can you do to lessen the intensity? I could show you something, all right? And what I'm about to show you is forbidden for me to teach, but I'm not going to show you the full system, but I'm only going to show you a small part, okay? Let's begin this. Let's sit down right here. Now, what I'm about to show you are the things that I did in my life to make me less reactive. Now, I am not saying that this makes you like into a cold person, but because me, I'm naturally an anxious person. And so I had to go on a journey that taught me how to be less reactive, right? And generally my journey started when I was younger. I was into Christianity and stuff like that. But the point is, with dating, I was a really anxious person. And so I did a lot of things to try to fix it, right? I would do ayahuasca, I would do shrooms, therapy. I did some therapy, I didn't like it too much, but I did a lot of things, and finally something worked. And this is the thing that I'm gonna share with you, what worked, okay? Because these strategies, no matter who you are, no matter how anxious you are, no matter how reactive you are, they worked on me. And I'm gonna tell you something about myself. I'm a very hard-headed person, right? I'm very hard-headed, but also I'm very reactive. I was the type of guy that if I met you and you were nice to me and you were cute, I liked you, right? That's just how I am. But the problem with that, it caused a lot of women to be able to break my heart really easily, right? And who I am now is not that I'm a colder person. I'm actually warmer. It's not that I am more of a Terminator. It's not that I am emotionally distant. I'm actually closer to people. The difference is that I know how to feel pain. The difference is that I know how to feel. I know how to get through feelings rather than avoiding them. When in the past, I avoided pain. And also I was more of an avoidant. But these strategies makes it easier for you to deal with pain, makes it easier for you to be less reactive. And what I noticed in my life is that through these strategies, it's much easier for me to make friends. Like, women seem to like me a little bit more. My friends like me a little bit more. And even my subscribers like me a little bit more. So these strategies work. So sit your butt down and get ready, because I'm about to reveal to you how to make this happen. Let's continue with the video. When things happen and you don't like it, naturally your brain reacts to it, right? And the way that your brain reacts to it is that it removes the tension from the body, and you react to a mental image or a mental fragment, something mentally, but you react to it. Now look, I explained this meditation in my course, Emotional Mastery. You guys can click on the description down below to purchase it if you're interested. But essentially it's like this. Like I said, when things happen, you're either saying I like it or I don't like it, right? You're always reacting to things mentally. You're labeling, the sun comes up and it makes you happy. Maybe you see a kid trip, that makes you happy. A fucking horse trips and that makes you sad, right? So those things we're constantly judging. And how do we create that judgment? Because our attention is in our mind. Now imagine this. You see a horse fucking walk by, right? But you're bringing attention to the hand, okay? You see a horse, but your attention is deeply in the sensation of the hand. Your mind doesn't have the space to say, I like this horse or I don't like it. Why? Because you're fully concentrated on the sensation of the hand. So the horse is passing by, you feel the hand. And now you're just observing horse. You're not saying I like horse, I don't like horse. When you do that, each time this happens, it lessens the negative reactions to things. Somebody canceled a date, right? For example, you're pissed off. You feel the hand. You feel the hand. You're angry, but you feel the hand. Now your mind doesn't have the energy it needs to create thoughts of, what an asshole. Oh no, I'm such a loser. Why? Because you're deeply concentrating on the hand. When you're meditating, you're sitting down and you want to get up. You're feeling the hand, or you're scanning the body, you're feeling a sensation, and your mind says, I want to get out. I want to walk outside. But you keep the sensation of the hand. What happens is that if you keep focusing on the hand, the emotion of wanting to stop meditating goes away because you're not feeding it with thoughts. You're not feeding it with your reaction. And each time this happens, the longer you can meditate. Each time somebody cancels a date on you, or each time somebody breaks your heart, by bringing attention to the hand, you're able to dissolve those emotions. You're able to allow yourself to feel it without judging it. It's when you say, I like it and I don't like it, is when it stays with you. But if you feel the hand and you feel emotion, you're not saying I like it or don't like it. You're just accepting it. And what happens is that over time, your reactions get lower and lower. Why? Because you are not feeding it with your consciousness. You're not feeding it with your ego. You're bringing the attention on the hand, which is where it belongs, and you're removing it from the ego. Me, they cancel, they this, and they that. And over time, you will have this relaxing aura, this presence about you that is so charismatic, so magnetic, so calming, so confident that even if it's the opposite sex will find that attractive. But if every time somebody does anything that hurts you, you react, you go Bronx mode, you fucking take your earrings off, you're feeding him. Every time somebody does something you don't like and you bring attention to the physical sensation of your body, you're not feeding it. And over time, it dies away. Now, the next thing that you can do to become less reactive is to is to literally be around other human beings. Literally. The problem is that people are just too isolated. So when you're isolated, your emotions become more sensitive, more brittle. You overreact. When you are around people and you're feeling the presence of other people, it lessens the overreactions to negative things. It's important for you to be around people. If you are not around people, you're gonna overreact. You need friends. So how do you do that? Well, the way I tell people is if you like to do things with other people. If you like to draw with other people. If you like to paint with other people. If you like to meditate with other people. If you like to do sculpture with other people. The point is make a conscious effort to whatever you do on your own, do it in a group. If you like to hike, join a hiking group. If you like to sew, join a sewing group. If you like to do cosplay, join a cosplay group. These things will allow you to do things that you naturally do on your own with other people. And this is how you make friends. And by making friends, it'll lessen your emotional reaction. I'm telling you, because when things happen, when things go wrong and you have friends, you're able to talk to them and they're able to make you feel better and they give you some perspective. But whenever you are alone, your thoughts bounce off of each other and create more overreaction, people. Yeah, that's right. And this is how I developed non-reactivity. It wasn't an easy journey. You know, it was difficult, but this is how I did it. And if you guys enjoyed this content and want more in-depth, deep dive type of content, you guys can purchase my courses. And in there, I go much deeper on these types of topics. For example, I have courses such as the Psychological Game of Attraction, which is a course that I made for women who are single. It's a course that would teach you how to go from meeting the guy to making him want to commit to you long term, right? I have Natural Chemistry, which is a course for women who are in relationships and who want to establish their respect and want to create the type of chemistry that is love, but also the type of chemistry that comes with respect. Right? So that course teaches you everything that you need to know about male psychology, everything you need to know to make a long-term relationship successful based on psychology, people. And after that, I have The Feminine Woman, which is a course that I created for women who it's more of a self-help course, who want to know how to set and achieve long-term goals, who want to know how to manifest, who want to learn how to be timeless, who want to learn how to blend their masculine and their feminine energy. This course is pretty much how to be a boss bitch without being super masculine, right? It's how to be feminine without losing the masculine edge that creates respect. Right, you can purchase that course for $99 by clicking on the description down below. Right, and the last courses I have is the Charisma Blueprint and Emotional Mastery. Those two courses are courses on how to build charisma and how to master your emotions. I teach you guys everything that I know that helped me master my emotions, right? Because if you guys don't know, I mean, I used to be addicted to to drugs, people, and that helped me, right? Full disclosure, I got addicted to MDMA at one point. And the strategies that I teach in that course is what helped me get over those things. Okay, so you can purchase all of those courses also by becoming part of the Mindful Attraction University. You can purchase all of them
in one price, all right? All of the courses are $99 each, but you can purchase them at a fraction of a price by becoming part of the Mindful Attraction University, all right? So click on the description down below where it says purchase my courses, and I'll see you guys inside. And there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can keep the courses for life.